What's up, y'all? It's your main man, Jay Sands. Sands on Sports, hip hop and sports entertainment at its finest. That's right, y'all. The big kid is at it again. And I want to bring back one of our guests. He was a guest maybe a few months ago, 3-4 months ago. He's back on the show for the second time. My uncle, John Lehman. Uncle John, how you feeling, man?
All right, how you doing today, Ned?
The legend.
Yeah, feeling real good. So you're just getting back from Florida, from swinging the club. So how was your Florida trip?
It was nice. I got a chance to see my sister, your mother.
Yep,
I haven't seen her in a year and a half, so all of us got vaccinated. So it was cool just to get together for the first time in quite a while.
Yeah, I still have.
I really can't play much golf, but because of my knee situation. But hey, it was still good to get out there, on the green grass.
Got you.
Yeah.
Well, this is episode 52, and I try to go with the numbers. So this is the Mike Webster episode right here. I'm in Baltimore, so it ain't the Ray Lewis episode. This is the Mike Webster 52 episode, and we have a very special guest from my hometown, Pittsburgh, PA, Mr. Chuck Sanders. Chuck, how you doing tonight?
Hey, it's good to be here. It's funny. My locker was right next to Mike Webster. So.
Oh wow!
Okay. Got you.
Yep, 86. Yeah, you ain't say much to Mike Webster. You just walked in, you shut up, and just did your business. Mike, depending on what day it was, Mike would be ready to kill you.
No, but let me tell you a quick Mike Webster story. Man, I was at the airport with Jermaine's brother. He was only about 8 years old, and we saw the Steelers. So we walked over and said hello to Mike Webster. Here again, not trying to be pushy. Man, Mike sat him down, talked to him about 15 minutes, man. He was a good dude.
Good dude. Great guy.
Yeah.
Legend. So what I like to do is ask people to give like a 20-second bio about themselves. So Chuck, can you just let the people know who you are a little quickly?
Yeah, sure. Grew up in Pittsburgh and Homewood. My father was Charlie Sanders, owned Sanders Trucking, which I'm very proud of. Went to Penn Hills, moved up to Penn Hills, went to Slippery Rock. Got drafted by the Chargers, got traded to the Steelers. Been in Pittsburgh ever since, started my business. I grew the largest minority-owned business ever in the history of Pittsburgh. It became number 9 in the country, my mortgage company, Urban Lending Solutions. Along the way, I built a couple restaurants. Now I have Savoy Restaurant. And just a Pittsburgh person, love my black and gold. John and them know we've been around a long time.
Oh, yeah.
That's my big uncle right there.
Yeah, I got it. So I want to ask you, what are your favorite teams starting with football?
Oh, for sure, Steelers. No question.
No doubt.
But my second favorite team actually is the Cowboys because of Tony Dorsett.
Oh, yeah?
I just, once Tony, when you seen Tony at Pitt and out there at Hopewell, then when he went to the Cowboys, it just, wherever Tony Dorsett went, I just love Tony Dorsett.
Got you. What about hoops? What's your favorite hoop squad?
I'm a Laker dude. I love my Lakers. I'm loving what the Knicks are doing, but I'm Lakers and Knicks.
Did you watch the game last night?
Oh, absolutely. We had a party we watched that shot by LeBron. I'm a huge LeBron fan. Wherever LeBron goes, I go.
So that's me.
Yeah. What about baseball? What's your favorite baseball team?
Pirates. I'm talking about the Bobby Bonilla, Barry Bonds Pirates. And then obviously that's number 2. Number 1, obviously, John knows, Star Joe.
Oh, yeah.
All that crew, baby.
We are family.
Rennie Stennett, all them boys. Them boys hung out, too. You've seen them in the city.
Yeah. And what about hockey? You mess with hockey at all?
Penguins. I'm a Penguin guy.
Yeah, no
Penguins did Capitals, but I'm a Pittsburgh dude, man.
I just had to ask. I already knew you was Pittsburgh across the board. You know what I mean? Definitely. So what sports did you play growing up in Pittsburgh?
All of them. You remember back in the day, man. I grew up in the 70s. And I grew up in the Homewood, man. Every block played every block. Race played Hermitage. Hermitage played Monticello. Then Homewood, we get together, go play North Side, play the Hill. So you played everything year round. Basketball, football, baseball, everything. So I played every sport there was. Now we ain't do no hockey or nothing like that. Yeah. We had a little nice baseball league even back then. But it became football towards the end.
Yeah.
Towards high school.
Got you. Now, what I want you to do is, you're owner of the Savoy Restaurant, the famous restaurant in Pittsburgh. Can I get your top 5 celebrity guests who have ever been in the Savoy? Okay. Starting 5. You try to pick a starting 5 hoop squad. You want your top 5 celebrities who've ever been.
Okay. Can I name them? Then put them in order.
Yeah. Go ahead and name them.
I gotta remember names. Okay. So Denzel.
Okay.
Jay-Z.
That's two.
Denzel, Jay-Z, the guy from I can see him, but I can't remember his name. Oh, John Singleton. John Singleton.
Wow.
Kappa. Yep, John Singleton.
Yeah, John Singleton. Number 6, I'm gonna put George Benson. Number 6 is kind of history.
Oh, wow.
I put George Benson. He might slide into the top 5. Maya.
Yeah.
Maya. I love Maya. And Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather.
Ooh, Money Mayweather. That's an ill list.
People that came in, I left off a lot on the list.
Yeah.
A lot of people that came through Savoy over the 5 years. Our funny man, I'll think of Cedric the Entertainer.
Yeah.
LB Shore. I mean, we just had a lot. We've been blessed.
So we need to do a top 100 list next time.
we might go a little bit deeper next time.
Yeah. Well, hey, Chuck, check this out. You hear this sound right here? That means we are going out of the first quarter and we are headed into the second quarter, my brother.
Right.
Now, what I want to ask you, because this is a question that came up on another episode of my podcast, where we asked who was the only player to play high school football in Western PA, college football in Western PA, and professional football in Western PA. And the only person we could think of was you. Is that true?
Oh, wow. I know. Okay, wait. Played high school, Western PA.
Yeah. Yep. College and professional.
Wow. I'm trying to think. So I would have to start with the Steelers and go backwards.
Yeah.
You know, the only person I can think of is that was in Western PA though. Our big boy, Hasselrig. But that would count. Hasselrig.
Well, guess what? We're not even gonna say Western PA. We're just gonna say Pittsburgh. How about that? We're gonna say Pittsburgh.
I've been calling Hasselrig, but he ain't played football in college. He wrestled.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? I'll take the trophy.
That's what I'm saying, man. Yeah. We talk our talk on Sands on Sports. So yeah.
It's me. I own that title.
Yeah. Because again, there's a running back. I don't know if you know Jimmy Lincoln. He was a good running back. But yeah, he posed the question. He said, Chuck Sanders might be the only one who did all 3 levels in Pittsburgh. Now, you played for the Steelers, what I call we had the Super Bowls in the 70s and we had the Super Bowls in the 90s. You played during the time where we weren't getting the Super Bowls. We had the Bubby Brister era, the Mark Malone era. So how do you reflect on that you didn't play like the Super Bowl era, but regardless, you played for the Steelers. You had to play with Bubby Brister, man.
Yeah, well, you know, it's funny when you're doing it, when you're going through that whole thing. It's like everything in life. You don't appreciate the accomplishment. You really don't. You're like, oh man, I remember looking around like, man, I can't believe Walter Abercrombie's in front of me. I don't even want to play no more. I'm going home. This makes no sense. I'm forgetting like 1.5% of people who ever played make it to the NFL, and then less of that in their own hometown. So just being like now, as I got older, and even years ago, just the idea of running out on that field of your hometown team. I mean, your fans out there screaming your name. It was absolutely one of the highlights of my life. Yeah. You didn't really, and another thing about football, they won't admit it, but when you get to the pros, it's such a job by then that you're really not thinking. They'll say it, some of them, but they're really not thinking Super Bowl or bust. You're thinking like, man, I want to make this team, get my paycheck, don't get hurt. So it wasn't like I was sitting there going, man, I can't believe we ain't winning. You ain't giving a shit. That stadium was still packed. Yeah. People were still cheering. I mean, in Pittsburgh, there wasn't the one game I went to where people were like, boo, the Steelers, we ain't coming. Yeah. It doesn't happen. I don't care if it was Bubby Brister, Mark Malone, whatever. Lewis Lips was our star player, but they cheered just as hard then, and John will speak to this. Yeah. I don't care how old you are. They cheered just as hard for the Steelers during the Super Bowl as when we were 0-6 or 0-7. That's just the truth.
Yeah. And you played for Chuck Noll. Can you tell us a little bit about Coach Noll? Because he's, like I said, I grew up on Noll. He's the legend.
I'll tell you, I had 3 coaches. They were all legends. Don Coryell drafted me. Then I got picked up by the Steelers, and then I had a little brief stint with the Giants with Bill Parcells. But Chuck Noll was just unbelievable. He called me Slippery Rock. That's all he would call me. I don't even know if he ever knew my name. Like, Slippery Rock, come here, Slippery Rock. Yeah. But he coached the last guy on the roster just like he coached the star. Stallworth, he would just coach. He'd come over, Chuck, I need your foot to go here. I know you know this. Hey, the first game we played, he's like, listen, you're not a Slippery Rock no more when them lights come on. And you see O.J. Simpson on the sideline for ABC, you're going to get panicked. So he didn't miss anything. And he was just the greatest teacher. he was just a classy guy too. I mean, you walked around the man, you just knew that this guy was real. And the thing about he was honest with you. He told you the truth, man. He'd tell you, hey, look, man, you know, he told me, he said, Chuck, you're one of the smartest guys I know. He said, your career ain't gonna be in football. He said, start hanging around the Rooneys, hanging around these businessmen. That's where you're gonna make your money.
Got you. And I've always went to Three Rivers Stadium as a fan, like going to see the Pirates, going to see the Steelers. But how was it to play in Three Rivers Stadium?
I mean, being from Pittsburgh, it was special. I mean, it wasn't the greatest field because you got that AstroTurf, you get crushed. But I literally was on. It was like a dream to me, honestly. From the time, even I got called by the Steelers, I went down for a workout and they signed me. Then I was on Channel 4 News. I'll never forget it because some girl I've been trying to talk to down in Homewood for 100 years wouldn't talk to me. As soon as I was on the news and the Steelers, she called me up. Hey, Chuck, you want to go out?
Yeah.
I was, yep, I'll go out. Yep. Literally from that first phone call where they said they're signing me to the last day I got cut, it was a dream. I still got to pinch myself and really, I need people like you to really tell me it happened. It was a dream. I mean, because I grew up in Pittsburgh on Homewood during the 74, 78, the 70s. It was, come on, man. You couldn't answer it. So to run out on that field, return kicks, even practice, I'd look around and go, I can't believe this.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, check this out, Chuck. You hear the sound again. So that means we're going out of the second quarter, and we are headed into halftime. Now, I want to ask both of you gentlemen, since you're both still in Pittsburgh, about the mayoral election, where Ed Gainey just he won the Democratic side. So, how big is that for Pittsburgh?
John, I'll let you handle that first.
Well, for me, being born and raised in Pittsburgh, I never thought I'd live to see this day, to be honest. And even more recently, I'm thinking, well, he's running, but I don't think he had a chance, to be honest, because I don't live in this city, but I still follow what's going on. But man, I'm so happy, that he won. And it wasn't close either. Yeah. And that was impressive.
Yeah, this was probably the first sign in a long time where I said, you know what, there really might be some change in Pittsburgh. Because let's keep it real. And, me, like I said, me and John are older, and we know that it takes white people to get shit done. Let's just keep it real.
Yeah.
We don't got enough numbers in Pittsburgh. We don't got enough numbers. Right. We don't got enough economic strength. We're not like Atlanta or something where we can place people on the boards and do whatever we want. So to see that enough white people came out to vote him in. I mean, we all voted for him, just of course. It just really excited me. Like, might be some change. And he's a great guy. I mean, so it's an exciting time for me. One of the most exciting moments in Pittsburgh history for me.
Yeah, there were a lot of mayors elected in the outer boroughs outside of Pittsburgh, like Rankin, Wilkinsburg, a lot of progression happening in Western PA, and I'm happy to see that, definitely. Especially, like I said, I'm in Baltimore, and like the last 6 mayors been black.
Right, exactly.
But
way behind.
But no, forget about behind, because again, you're proud of it because the symbolism is great. But then you look, I live in Baltimore, the murder capital. So okay, it looks good, but the results are worse. So are we saying that it doesn't matter the face you put on the system still gonna operate the same? You know what I mean?
Well, here's the big difference. At least we got a chance. At least we can get into the door. Yeah, I know for a fact that I can meet with Ed Gainey. And I know Ed Gainey will hear me out. Yeah. We got those connections. I know my marketing played football with him. Me and Ed know each other. Drake knows that. Peduto been here for 4 years. He'll walk in my restaurant and say hi. I can't get to sit down next to him and say, look, man. And he knows what I'm about. I'm going through something right here, right now, where they're trying their best to get me off the strip. They're developing the strip. They don't want black people on the strip. Yeah. I cater to a young African-American crowd. Why? And John will tell you this, because the older black folks ain't going out in Pittsburgh. We're done. We ain't trying to bring in our time. Come on,
different crowd. Yeah.
We did CJ. We remember the old days with East Liberty had and a car, you could go anywhere on the hill. Some days are gone. I got to make a nice, safe place for the kids to go to, and they don't want us down there. But think, who's in charge of the chief of police? The chief of police got to answer to the mayor.
Yeah.
Oh, so
At least we got some names. At least we can get to the table. That's all I ask is to have a fair shot.
Well, I think one big change we're going to see. For years we had a thing on the North Side. Jermaine, you're familiar with it. The North Side Picnic. Which brought the younger and the old folks together, the gangbangers and everybody. It was peaceful. And Peduto stopped it.
Yeah.
So now I think we'll be able to bring it back. You know, having somebody like you say, Chuck. Now we in the room.
We're in the
So
room.
That's all we have.
And we'll be heard.
Yes.
Got you. That's awesome. That's awesome. I thank you both for sharing that. And y'all hear the sound. That means we are going out of halftime and we are headed into the third quarter now. We're coming off the election talk. Now I want to ask you both, on a scale of 1 to 10, how racist would you say Pittsburgh is?
Jan, you go first.
Well, the statistics say we're about the worst in the country.
Okay.
Now, as far as my personal experiences, it's pretty bad. You know, like I grew up, you know, as an engineer, let's call it, okay? And when I was hired at Coppers, they give me a lecture about you're going to be the first black, you know, in the industry and this and that. I've seen guys in line, say at lunchtime in the cafeteria using the N-word. You know, this is going back in the 60s and 70s. And so, yes, it's still very racist. It's one of the most segregated cities in the country.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
You know, just by statistics. So hopefully it's changing, but there's no doubt. But just to answer your question, yes, it's one of the most racist cities in the country.
So we got a 10.
You know,
Yeah.
it's hard for me because I love this city because, you know,
Yeah.
I always stay so deep in the black culture. That's what I love. I know, you know, I can go anywhere in the city, Homewood, McKeesport, I can go anywhere in this state. I got love. You know, I live in Wexford, they can show me love, but it's interesting. I get a lot of love because I played for the Steelers. And I made some money. So, you know, they treat you a little different when you're, you know, a Curtis Aiken or a Chuck Sanders or somebody who did everything. And that's nothing wrong with that. We work hard to do it. But we also know our people. And it's like, you don't treat me like this, but my boy who live on Ray Street or my boy who live on Ottawa or on the Hill, you can't mess with them. So I just don't like that. And the other thing, it really comes down to this. I got 3 sons. One's 23, one's 21, and one's 18. And the truth of the matter is I told them, get out of this city. And that's just, I'm sad. That's honest. I don't want my sons growing up here. It's ridiculous. I'm in an entertainment business. My resume speaks for itself. Every day I got to prove myself and face lies and rumors and this craziness because of the color of my skin. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I definitely give it a 9.5. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I'm going 10. Look, I'm going 11. No, put me down for 11. Okay, so then what is it like then being a black business owner in this city?
Well, that's unique too, I think. Here again, going back to when I started, things were different. And Chuck can relate to this too. We had some power back then. You know, we had the purchasing council, guys like Alexander Nichols, okay? And we had people in power at Westinghouse, at some of the major corporations. I mean, black people. But now they're gone. I mean, so I feel sorry for the new young black-owned companies coming up because they don't have those people in positions that were able to help me.
Yeah, I agree. You know, and I would have never thought it got worse. I mean, we went through a period, you know, when I built my company and John was around, we all hang out, we go golf, we do different things. We just thought it was going up. And then it just crashed. We lost a lot of talent that didn't get replaced. That was in corporate America. We just didn't replace it. And because a lot of our young people left and went to the other parts of the country. Now, one of my main responsibilities to be here is I feel I got a responsibility to the young black people still here because I'm one of the very few left who owns my own buildings, own my own business. Quite frankly, I don't say it shamefully, who got a couple $1 million. I can do some things. Because if you ain't got money and you ain't got your shit here, they'll run right over you. So I owe it to this community to keep trying to push and do what I can do. And I do a lot of business in Florida. It's a lot easier, to be honest with you. I make much more money, but I'm not going to let my sons have to deal with this. I can deal with it because I know how to move in Pittsburgh, but I wouldn't put my sons in this situation at all. I'm just going to be honest with you. So it's a bad situation business-wise, and hopefully the mayor can help us.
It's gotten worse.
That's interesting. They don't have the purchasing council anymore?
Wow. Well, it's headquartered in Philadelphia now.
Okay, got you. Because I remember guys like, Bernard Jones in the Poison Company?
All the guys, man. Shoot, but my dad's Charlie Sanders and Sanders Trucking and all those guys. They used to fight. They're like, man, they go down to Mayor's and they'll put a dump truck in front of this building. But now, it's, it's not good.
Honestly, talking about black business in Pittsburgh, depressing, so we're getting the hell out of here. We're in the third quarter, and we are going to the fun quarter, the fourth quarter, and we're going to talk about social media and actually internet beef. Like I've been peeping Kwame Brown's like the main one right now going off on the internet against Gilbert and Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. But it's just the social media the social media presence and the back and forth and all that. And one thing that I wanted to ask you that I kind of like Justin LeBoy. He's a big social media guy, right? And everybody used to think it was Meek Mill. If I'm wrong, correct me. But everybody used to think it was Meek Mill for a while until he revealed his face, right? So I'm just wondering, why would he reveal his face? It seemed like business would have been. I mean, I'm sure he's doing well, but I'm just like the importance of being seen. Like my thought is like, if I'm Bill Gates and I got $30 billion, the last thing I'm thinking about is social media or whatever like that. So what I wanted to ask is like, how can I put it, man? Why do you feel like everybody has to have this social media presence, regardless of the demographic of wealth you have, your color? Everybody just has to have this camera in front of their face expressing their point of view, and everybody feels like it should be headlines on the Channel 10 News every night. Everybody's story, they feel that passionate and important about it. So I'm just like, how do you feel about having it? Because again, even you, like I'm like, that's Chuck Sanders. Like you know, Chuck Sanders don't have to deal with nobody he don't want to deal with. So, you know, why does he deal with some of the people that he has to, like on social media? You got to deal with everybody. You got to hear the comments. You got to hear the left and right. You can say on social media that, hey, breathing clean air is good for you. People want to disagree with you. They're going to say, oh no, you're wrong, man. You got to bring some of that smog, man. You know what I mean? So why do you jump into it sometimes?
You know, I'll start with that because it's funny you said there, because the person who taught me about social media and put me on social media was Justin LeBoy.
Okay.
Justin lived with me. Yeah, Justin lived with me down in Miami in my condo, and he was like, Chuck, you know, there's this thing, Instagram. So because I'm sure John will tell you the same thing. We had no idea this stuff. It's unheard of. Yeah. You know, so I had no idea. This was only 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago. So in the beginning, you see the benefits of it. You really do. Yeah. I mean, John, though, back in the day, if we wanted to do an event or something, man, we had to go pass flyers out there everywhere. We had to call everybody. You had to go to church. You had to speak. You got to reach 5,000-10,000 people. Man, you had to work your butt off around the clock for months and years. You know, we put together golf tournaments and stuff, John. You know, come on, the work we would have to do. So to be able to reach tens of thousands of people with a push of a button is amazing. Yeah. Amazing. It is a beautiful thing. It's a plus. It helped all my businesses grow. But like everything, there's a dark side to it. The dark side to it, actually, here's Justin right here. Yeah. Justin, little boy, right here. Hey, Justin, I'm doing a podcast, and your name came up. They said, "Who taught you about the internet?" And they were talking about Justin, little boy, how famous he was. Yeah. This is my nephew, Justin, right here.
Yeah, peace. There you go. There you go. He got him going crazy. On the net.
You know that? What's good? Who that?
Hey. It's Pittsburgh in the building. This is all Pittsburgh right here.
What's good? Hell yeah, big Pittsburgh. What up, though?
Yeah, I was telling. He was asking me about social media and how I got on, and I said I played. He said Justin LeBoy wasn't the biggest before he even knew about. I knew you. I said Justin LeBoy is the one who taught me it.
Yeah. We're talking about the good part of it and the bad part of it. Like, you know, again, everybody thinks that they deserve a voice at the table. You know, bosses with no credentials, people that feel like, you know, their opinion is just as valuable as a guy who has experience like Chuck Sanders, and you know, they feel validated, I guess, just because they have the Instagram account, that they can have the same platform, if the internet wasn't around, they try to get a business meeting with you in downtown Pittsburgh, they probably wouldn't get it, you know what I mean? But the internet allows them to touch it.
It's not even about social media. It's about one stupid motherfucker hangs out with another stupid motherfucker, and they hang out with another stupid motherfucker, and they all just believe the stupid shit that they believe in. So it ain't even that they think they got power. It's just if you get enough people to believe in the stupid shit that you're preaching, then feel like you're going somewhere. Even though all the people that are grouped up preaching this shit, they don't matter to the world, but they don't see that. You know what I'm saying? Delusion is a real thing. So, you know,
Hey,
You know, one of the things Justin told me a long time ago, he said, Chuck, I respect you old school dudes, and I really respect you. You was able to build yourself without social media, real stuff, real ways to go. So these young cats like Justin, man, they respect the OGs, they respect the game.
Yeah,
He's a real dude who's bringing it in, you know. So let me get him on, because, you know, he charged about $50.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I don't want to get a bill. I don't want to get no bill.
I'm looking for y'all.
Oh, hey, Chuck, I appreciate that, man. That was real hot, man. So let me ask you about this, man. You brought your sons up earlier, right? So tell us how proud you are.
I love you, baby.
Well, it's only possible because of Chuck Sanders, man. Love for life, man.
No doubt. Yeah.
Love you, Josh. See you later, nephew. I'm sorry, I ain't mean to go overtime on you, but it was funny he had this call from me, and we mentioned. The last thing I'll say is you touched on this.
Yeah.
The problem with it, you'll get dragged in sometimes, and John can speak on this. When you're old school like us, or even when you were raised like you were raised, it's just certain things that are sad that you just can't let slide. When people call your name out, disrespect your name, disrespect your family, disrespect what you have done, it's just in our blood, even though you lose sometimes. Yeah. I mean, people get empowered. Back in our day, if you had something to say, you had to see that person. Now people can say things that are so wrong and just make up stuff and just be disrespectful. Yeah. And I got to catch myself a lot of times because
you got me.
I'm one of those dudes.
What they say is you don't beef down. So there ain't too many people or motherfuckers up there with you, Chuck. So you're beefing down with everybody. So what they say is you don't beef like okay, if Obama want to beef with you, go ahead and jump on that, get a little boxing match. But if it ain't nobody, don't beef downwards. You know what I mean?
The other problem I have is if the people who follow me and you follow me, I'm trying to teach people very strong principles.
True.
So I don't want to be shut up because everybody don't say nothing. They'll call you a hater. They'll call you a hater. Like how, I preach ownership. I'm not hating on people who don't own. But John, we come from a standpoint of, work your butt off and try to own.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not hating on people who got to rent, but we grew up renting till you can buy.
Yeah.
And I'm not hating on people, but so sometimes you gotta take the hits because you gotta get that message out.
Got you. Okay, now I'm gonna bring my co-host is showing up late, but we still gonna bring him in, my man Elder Sensei. But anyway, I want to talk about dad life because you brought up your sons, right? So how important is just being a dad, being a father, a role model to your boys?
Oh, it's the most important thing in the world. I mean, it's funny because when they're younger, you're kind of just still doing your thing. I mean, you go coach them, you do what you do. You, of course, show them love, but they're really mama's babies. When they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But once they start getting 10, 11, 15, 16, now you're starting to say, wait a minute, I got to make sure this young man's ready for this world.
Yeah.
Because we know all the secrets we didn't even tell them their mamas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we know, what's going to happen. So it's the most important thing in the world to make sure, and it's harder now. I really believe it's harder now. When I came up, my dad was like, son, go to school, get your degree, that's going to help you do better, boom, boom, boom. You can't even tell kids that now. You got to be worried if they go down the street and grab a car, a cop will stop them and kill them. Yeah. So me personally, everything I've done was put together so that my sons don't got to go out and work for nobody. They can come, take over the business, generational wealth, come and do it. I'm doing a Joe Kennedy. I'm going to, hey, son, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. Yeah. Keep it contained and keep it moving. You got to be a little bit more selfish. I hate to say that. I got to raise my sons a lot more selfish than my dad raised me.
Yeah, got you. I want to introduce my main man and my co-host, Elder Sensei from the legendary hip-hop group, The Artifacts, out of Newark, Brick City, New Jersey. How you doing, El?
Peace, y'all. Peace. Good evening.
Peace, man. Thanks for taking the time.
That's the legend.
Yeah.
The legend.
So Chuck, I want to ask you, you're in the weed business, man. You're in the smoke business, right? So the cannabis industry. So how did you get into it and how much fun is it being in it?
It's funny how one thing leads to another. One thing about owning a restaurant, that's where a lot of business still gets done, definitely back in the day. A gentleman was there, a good friend of mine, Jimmy the Greek. He's a Pittsburgh guy, Greek guy. He's like, Chuck, this is about 7, 8 years ago. He goes, this cannabis business is coming to Pittsburgh. We like to have some strong African Americans involved in it, blah, 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 blah. I said, well, if I'm involved, I'm not just putting my face up. I want some money. I want a piece of the game. And it was a hefty investment. It was about a $500,000 investment back then, about 7 years ago. So, I talked to the wife. We put the money in. we felt good about it because I know in Pittsburgh, I knew the right people were involved. You know, Jim Roddy, you know, all the Brad Pitt, you know, the right people were involved. So I'm like, if they're in it, they're gonna get it. They know who they know. And it was just a great investment. We just got bought out last year. We made great returns on our money, and I own a lot of stock in the company that came. But those are the type of things you do, and you make the moves when you're making money and you got things coming in that you can set your kids up down the road that they got something. Yeah. So it turned out to be a great thing. I mean, I was fortunate enough to get in it. And believe me, though, if I didn't know the people I wouldn't know, they dang sure wouldn't have let those black folks in.
Yeah. It's definitely just like the top tier of corporate America, the weed business is segregated. I mean, they don't let black people. Yep. Seems to be that way. Now, we're going to get out of here, but I got one last question to ask you, because I'm a Sanders too. So where are we going to have the VIP, Miles Sanders as well? So where are we going to have the VIP Sanders only section in the Savoy, man? Like you ain't got the Sanders car?
hey, Miles, no, I adopted him. Anybody walking our door, Sanders is good. You automatically VIP. You and my section.
Here.
We all related somehow, some way.
Oh, man, that's love.
I don't know who the first Sanders was that escaped from the plantation, but thank him.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. No doubt. Well, yo, you hear the sound? That means we are out of the fourth quarter. The game is over. I want to thank you, Chuck, for playing with us. You scored like 80 touchdowns. It's hoop season, so you even hit a few threes. So we thank you for coming on the show. And I just want to, on the outro tip, I just want to say one thing, man. I'm from Pittsburgh, and there was a horrific homicide a few months ago. And I'm an old school dude, so I went to Nats first. Then I went to arts, and you go into arts, you seen Pretty working at art. Oh, yeah. Then Pretty got her own business in the Strip District. Beautiful black woman, has her own business in the Strip District. And again, her son was senselessly in front of her building. You know what I mean? So this episode, I just want to send a much respect to Pretty and her son Amir, and just you know, it's just a difficult thing that happened in my city. And I'm just, you know, I watch a lot of stuff on the internet, and that story right there stuck with me, still sticks with me. I check up to see how she's doing online. It's just a mother losing her son in front of her own business. You got to be kidding me, Pittsburgh. So yeah.
Hey, I got to. You're right. And Pretty's our sister. I love her. And I want to shout out to your co-host, man. Please send some love to Biz Marquis. I know that's your dude. I love Biz. That's my so just please shout out Biz Marquis also.
Yeah, I had DJ Cool on last week actually. He actually in contact with Biz, and he did say Biz is fighting. He's like, man, it's
been a minute. Okay.
Yeah, I talked to Cool V, his DJ, and last time I saw Vaughn, maybe a couple of months ago, he said he was actually stable. So, you know, they trying to still keep him on, in mind as far as like his health, and you know that's the one thing we say, for everybody, you know, just make sure you take care of yourself.
Yeah, you tell Cool V I said what's up. That's my dude too. I remember y'all. I remember all them when he caught the vapors.
Yeah. And he still tell people how me and Tame, because V used to have sessions in his basement, and he lived in Elizabeth, just like maybe driving a half hour from me. So we used to go in his basement, and he used to just throw dudes in the booth. And I remember one time we was there, and we all was like 10 dudes in the booth, and me and Tame was the last 2 dudes left, and maybe one other guy. So that's when he said, all right, I heard about y'all, but yeah, from now on, you know, he was in with us from that time until we started making records. And he actually got Tame's tag in his book, I think on the back cover.
Yeah, I love Cool V. We did a lot of things together. That's my man. Yeah, Rodney Carter, all them guys.
How's that Artifacts new album coming, L? We need to update.
I got another update. I'm gonna have an update every time I come on. So it's definitely in the works. It's vinyl getting pressed right now. Like I would say probably July. I don't want to lie to the people, but I just know it's getting done. I tell everybody the same thing. It's in motion compared to 25 years, no motion.
No doubt. Uncle John, check us out, man. What you got on the outro? Let people know let them know what's going on. Maybe a golf tip or something. Let them know.
Or what now?
A golf tip, whatever. Let them know. A peace out. The outro.
Yeah, well, hey, just enjoy life, man. That's all I can say. Whether it's on the golf course, whatever. I don't care if you shoot 90 or 100. Just go out there and have fun. Don't try to be as good as Tiger or anybody else. Just enjoy the game.
Yeah, Look, I gotta be as good as Jimmy Sanders in June. That's what I got. That's what I gotta do. Okay, Chuck, man. Like I said, man, just how people can follow you on social media. Some of the things you got coming up. Can you please let us know, and we'll get up out of here.
Yeah, I'm at Chuck Sanders 4352 and Chuck Sanders on Facebook. What I really need people to do is just stay ready, because I am in a fight with this liquor control board. I think it's ridiculous that there's not one black person on the LCB. That's ridiculous. The liquor control board, which is named by the governor, they control a lot of money. As John knows, if we had a supplier diversity program with the liquor control, if we just got 10% of what they spend, that's $80 million going through the minority community.
Yep.
So I'm really going to stack up, go out to the LCB and start doing things right. Please support Savoy. They don't want us down the strip. They can't move me because I own the building, but they play in their game with my liquor license, with all kind of stuff. So just stay tuned. Keep it going. We're going to do what we do.
Yeah, keep fighting, Chuck.
My man. Appreciate you. It was good to see you. Great surprise. Now, I ain't know Uncle John was going to be on. We had a lot of laughs.
Yeah,
hey, Chuck, let me tell you this story. I was down in Fort Lauderdale playing in a golf tournament, and I was playing with Ron Harper. And Ron Harper said, hey, so you knew I was from Pittsburgh. So the first thing he said, hey, you know Chuck Sanders? I said, yeah, I know Chuck. So then he told me about one of your fine clubs down there, too. You everywhere, man.
Yeah, I got it. Harper's my boy, man.
I know, man.
A prophet gets no love in his own hometown. Everywhere else.
Yeah. Harper was big on you, man. Big on you.
Yeah, man. Harper's my guy.
Yep, that's what he said. Yeah.
Well, yo, man, check this out. I'm Jay Sands. That's Elder Sensei. That's Uncle John. That's Chuck Sanders. This is Sands on Sports, and we out of here, y'all.
Peace, love.
All right.